Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike Alcock from GoMo Learning. Welcome to today's webinar, 5 Ways Learning Analytics Can Make Your Training More Effective. It's just gone 3 o'clock here in the UK. I've got quite a few people on the broadcast already. I can see lots more people joining as I speak. So we're just going to give everybody the chance to get in. It can sometimes be a bit difficult to get logged in and get the webinar software sorted out. So if you could bear with me for a minute or two, we'll let the last few people join and then we'll start the webinar. Just want to check that you can both hear me and see my screen. There's a little raise hand icon in the webinar software. If you could raise your hand now, if you can hear my voice and see my screen. Thank you, Jay, Ken, DJ, Scott, Stephen, fantastic. That's great. So it looks like everything's working. So we're going to give it 1 or 2 minutes more and then we'll make a start. We're scheduled to run an hour, normally last a little bit shorter than that, but hopefully taking no more than an hour of your time today. Just another bit of housekeeping. Thank you, Ken. If you type a question here, does everyone see it? No, they don't. But I should say that as we're about to start the webinar in a moment, if you have any questions, everybody's on mute, otherwise we get loads of feedback with the speakers for everybody. So I can't hear your questions, but there is a question box in the webinar software. And if you have any questions that you're thinking of as we're going along or towards the end, feel free to type them into the question box and I'll do my best to answer all your questions at the end of the presentation. So we'll have a question and answer roundup. Going to give it 1 more minute and then we'll make a start. Okay, looks like we've probably got everybody that's coming in today. So let's make a start. So, 5 ways learning analytics can make your training more effective. I'm Mike Alcock, I'm Managing Director of GoMo Learning. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about what the GoMo Learning Suite is, and then we'll look at some of the main benefits from the use of e-learning analytics. And then I'm going to build out a quick course, publish it, run it, and just give you some examples of the types of data, details, and dashboards that we can generate from GoMo. So what is the GoMo Learning Suite? Well, it's a complete solution. It comprises our award-winning multi-device authoring tool and a brand new product, GoMo Hosting and Analytics. It's built on 5 key pillars: content creation, customization, collaboration, hosting and distribution, and analytics. And I'll talk about each of those in a bit more detail in a moment. Who uses GoMo? Well, it ranges from single-person e-learning consultancies through to the biggest companies in the world. Just some examples of those people flying across your screen as we speak, and we're adding more and more every week. So what does GoMo do from an authoring perspective that makes it different from traditional e-learning authoring tools? Well, GoMo creates responsive and adaptive HTML5, and it does that completely automatically. So you build a course once and it will work on any device: desktop, tablet, smartphone, landscape, portrait. And the really nice thing is you don't have to tell GoMo anything about your devices. The player figures it all out for you. So the presentation we're looking at is actually a GoMo course. I'll just start dragging it around the screen like so, and you'll see as I shrink the course down, the content responds to the changing browser conditions, and when GoMo gets to the point at which it realizes the images won't work next to each other, it drops them vertically on top of each other. And we're now looking at something that resembles a smartphone display, but our content is still 100% usable by our smartphone user. So GoMo is 100% responsive and adaptive HTML5. GoMo's in the cloud, and this is what enables us to bring in integrated analytics. So GoMo's a software as a service application. There's nothing to download, there's nothing to install. You log in through a web browser and you're off and running and creating content. Because GoMo's in the cloud, it's collaborative, so you can all work together. We've got integrated review capabilities, so that you can invite your subject matter experts in to review your courses. When you've finished authoring, signed your course off, you can hit the publish button. Now, the traditional route for e-learning publishing is to publish a SCORM 1.2 learning object and load it to your LMS. But now we have the GoMo Hosting and Analytics Suite, and this allows us to publish our courses to the GoMo hosting server and then distribute them out to students in lots of interesting ways, and also perform in-depth analytics on those students that are using the courses. There are four main methods of distribution, and I'll show you and talk about these all in a moment. So how do you create content in GoMo? Well, it's very simple. It's a drag and drop GUI interface inside a web browser. Very intuitive, no programming skills required, and out comes SCORM and Tin Can XAPI conforming courses. One of the really nice features of GoMo is the ability to customize your courses to make them look exactly how you want them to look. But more importantly, the customization layer, which is called themes in GoMo, is completely separate from content. This means that you can rebrand 1 or 100 courses in literally 30 seconds. All you do is update the theme, and all the courses that are using that theme will rebrand automatically. You can imagine in some desktop tools, you'd end up opening 100 courses and maybe even 100 pages inside 100 courses to do those sorts of changes. Because GoMo's in the cloud, it's collaborative, so you can work together. We've got content locking that makes sure two people don't try and readjust the same deck of slides at the same time, and we've got brand new review and workflow capabilities to streamline the production process. So that's the authoring side of things. You can then hit the publishing button and publish to the hosting platform, and this is where we start to bring in some of the analytics. We've got four main methods of content distribution. You can set up something called Gomu Central, and that's your own mini learner portal. You can set whether people need to register for that, and they can log in and they can consume their courses. So effectively, your own mini GoMo LMS where people can log in, run their courses, and you can get your analytics data out of it. If you already have an LMS, you can still leave your content in GoMo and use the GoMo LMS wrapper. This sends a tiny little file to the LMS. So if your LMS user, they'll log in through their LMS. It will look just like any other piece of e-learning. They'll run that course in the LMS. The LMS will receive the SCORM data that it always has, but the content's consumed directly from the GoMo servers. And the GoMo servers are constantly talking to the student and picking up all of the XAPI analytics. So you get the best of both worlds. You get your SCORM data in your LMS, you get your XAPI data in GoMo. Best of all though, you can dynamically update courses wherever they are. So if you've got your course in your LMS, it's been there, it's taken you've built it and put it in the LMS, and all of a sudden someone spots there's a typo on page 5. All you've got to do is update the course at the GoMo end. Your LMS will instantly see the new course. There's no republishing required. So dynamic and instantaneous updates, and they apply to wherever you put your GoMo courses. You can send people a direct link or a QR code. So if you just want to broadcast the course on Twitter or Facebook, or LinkedIn, wherever you want to do it, just send people a link and they can directly access the course. You can also embed courses inside your website. So we generate an embed code. And again, you'll be able to track all of those interactions. Now with direct link and website embed, they're anonymous sessions. So you're not going to know who the students are, but you will know what they've done, which device they were on, which questions they've got right, and so forth. For Gomu Central and existing LMS, you can pick up student data so you can identify the users in both of those situations. Sat behind all of that is our full Tincan XAPI reporting engine with a visual way to analyze learner data and really dive into some deep analytics. And I'll show you some examples of this over the next few pages. So how can we start to benefit from advanced analytics? Here's one of the dashboards. This is a student dashboard. There's Gary. We can see he's got 17 course launches. He's been around for 2.5 hours. But we can improve our learning design going off more than a hunch. For example, most LMSs can report that Gary might have scored 75% in that particular quiz. However, the GoMo Learning Suite allows us to report at question level because we're using XAPI analytics. And we can see that Gary got question 3 incorrect twice. He got 1, 2, and 4 correct, so he scored 75%. We're able to identify that something around question 3 isn't quite right. Now, it might be the question, or it might be the learning associated question 3, but we know which question it is, and of course we can aggregate this data over hundreds or thousands of students. And if we discover that question 3 is the reason most people fail the quiz or don't get a question right, we can start to look at the learning or the nature of the questions with question 3 and improve the learning or the question itself. Another great thing about the GoMo Learning Suite is that we understand devices. And again, most LMSs don't understand devices, they only understand course launches. And understanding devices allows us to start looking at how our students are consuming their content and maybe how we switch our focus from a desktop-led design focus maybe to a tablet or smartphone-led design focus. So you can see this particular course here. This was the MLearnCon exhibition that I was at in June. And much to my delight, the majority of people that consume that course were doing it on a smartphone. And a smartphone and tablet accounted for almost 70%, well, over 70% of the course accesses. And when you start to see data like this, you start to realize how important it is to design great learning experiences on tablets and smartphones as well as desktops, and how you can't really justify delivering courses that are only desktop friendly. If you've got 70% of people looking to access your courses on mobile devices, it's time to go mobile. We can also map what people have and haven't experienced. So again, as well as knowing things like device type and quiz scores and individual questions, we can see here which pages people have experienced, which screens they've been, when they exited, when they resumed, when they launched. And this will allow us to understand where people have been in the courses and where they haven't. Where are people losing interest? Where are they giving up? Which screens are they skipping? Which screens are they spending a lot of time on? So we're starting to get some rich data. And on the basis of all that data, we might be able to build secondary courses based on what people did or didn't do. So here's some of the nugget libraries that have been developed by Climate Kick in GoMo. And we might discover from these that the greenhouse effect is incredibly popular, but they're not really going into pitches and purpose. And then we might build a secondary course based on that to give them another attempt to go in there. And all of this is informing our learner journeys and allowing us to move to much targeted improved learning outcomes. If we know why people are getting questions wrong, if we know which questions people are getting wrong, if we know which parts of the courses people are interested in or disinterested in, we can start to refine our e-learning design, producing better, more targeted content that's going to give us improved learner outcomes. And that's the whole point of e-learning. We want to improve our learner outcomes. And if everybody's failing a quiz because they can't get question 3 right, it's our job to go and find out why that is, what's wrong with the learning, and how do we improve that in order to get everybody to a 100% pass rate. Okay, so that's the theory. Let's go and have a look at GoMo in practice. So I'm logged into GoMo as myself. That's me in the top right there. And I've got access to both products, authoring and hosting. So for the first part of the demo, I'll be in the authoring side of things, and we'll build a course, and then we'll go and publish it and play around with some analytics and statistics. So this is GoMo. I'm logged in just through industry standard Chrome here. Clicking on any course will allow me to open that course up and start working on it. But for today's presentation, I'm just going to create a brand new project, and we'll build in some learning experiences and some quizzes and tests and just see how our sample student gets on with it. So today is Thursday, and the time now is 15:16 in the UK. And we'll just set our resource location as that folder there. Next, I'm going to choose the theme for my particular project today. I'll pick the night sky theme. These choices I'm making here on things like themes, they're completely switchable later on. I'm not tied to that theme once I've chosen it. As we scroll down here, you can see some of the custom themes that we've done. So GoMo comes with the theming engine. I'll play with it later on, lets you change the look and feel of the courses to exactly how you want it. We also have a custom theme development service. So for some of our very brand focused customers like the Dunhills, the Burberrys and the Nikes of this world, we can also develop some custom themes that match 100% their brand guidelines. Next, let's choose what our students are going to see. So I'll give them a menu, 4 topics, help, glossary, and an exit button. And then finally, because GoMo is collaborative, which of my colleagues is going to be able to work on this course with me? And I'll choose all of my colleagues in this particular instance. You can switch it on and off. So if you've got a multi-user system, you can hide some courses from people and just share them with a particular number of developers. And GoMo will build that course for me. And there it is. I've got the menu. I've got my 4 topics as requested. And I've got a help and glossary topic, and down at the bottom I've got my footer navigation tools. I'm happy enough with those. Maybe for the header navigation I'll drop in a table of contents, maybe a progress bar in the middle there, and I'll stick a search facility on the right hand side. I can right click even though I'm in standard issue Chrome, so we'll make topic 1, we'll call it video. Topic 2 we'll call embed, and we'll just embed some third-party YouTube content into topic 2. So we'll call that one embed. And then topic 3 we'll leave as it is. And maybe topic 4 we'll put the final quiz in so we can start to see how people are doing as they go through the quiz and questions. So I've set my course structure up now, and now we can start building out some of the pages or screens in this course. So let's go to the video section first. This opens up the GoMo authoring tool, main editor. Just to explain this screen, on the left-hand side is the navigator. It's the list of screens in this topic. Next to that are the assets. These are all the items I can drop onto the page in GoMo. So there's my questions, my presentation assets, my media assets. And then in the middle is my screen preview. This isn't WYSIWYG because we're building multi-device content that's going to adjust for smartphones and tablets. So I'll show you previewing in a moment. And on the right-hand side is the properties panel, and that's dynamic. As I select items on the page, it changes. And if you look on the right here, you can see that this content block in the middle is set as a 2-column layout. On desktop and smartphone, these 2 columns will sit next to each other. On desktop and tablet. On smartphone, GoMo will drop the right-hand content block below the left-hand one, and that's how we manage multi-device behavior. So let's go and do a bit of quick editing. So welcome to GoMo, like so. We'll change this text on the left. So text on the right, and I'll go and grab some text off the GoMo website, so we can cut and paste from most places on the internet to get stuff into GoMo. On the left hand side here, I'll have my video player. So it's all drag and drop the item in, and typically you double click to find the video you're interested in. Maybe we'll try themes. Okay. So that's my first screen. I'll add a second screen about GoMo because we're going to ask people about this later on. And this time I'm going to add a screen from a template. This allows me to build up interactive screens really quickly. So by clicking on Hotspot image, I get everything I need to make a Hotspot image page. So the screen title can be our offices. For the Hotspot image placeholder, I'll go and grab a world map. Now these are all the files that I've already uploaded to GoMo. However, if I needed to upload one on the fly, I could just hit the upload button and upload directly into this page. And then if we go and have a look on the left here in the navigator, you can see we've got 3 subscreens. So GoMo's automatically made us 3 reveal screens. So we'll set the first one to be all about Brighton, which is our head office. In brackets, head office. And on this page as well, we'll drop in an image of Brighton, just so we've got something to look at. And shove Brighton Pier down here, there it is. And then for screen 2, we'll just set this about the New York office. Oops. And again, I'm going to add in an image just so we've got something to look at on screen 2 here. Now I'm just scrolling through visually. I could search for all the New York images in here, but I'm a visual person, so I like to just scroll down till I see what I need. I'm going to change that one to a pop-up screen. And if we just go back to the main image here, let's just set up some reveals. So Hotspot 2 was for New York. So I'll just stretch that out over the US. Hotspot 3 we haven't done, we won't bother with that one today. And Hotspot 1 was for the Brighton office. And if I look at the action associated with that one, we can see it's showing Hotspot item 1, which is Brighton, which is what I want it to do. But we could also link to a website, link to a PDF, change completion, set a score, set an image, set a variable. So there's lots of nice, interesting things we can do to make this screen highly interactive and this course highly interactive. So we're going to save this topic and then we'll jump into another one, put a slightly different experience in for our user, and then we'll set up the quiz, then we'll go and have a play with the hosting and analytics. So I will now jump to the embed topic, which is topic 2, and this is going to have some embedded video. I'll delete the text items from this content block. I'll set it to be a single column. So I'm going to bring in now my iframe, and the iframe allows us to embed third-party content from the internet, and you can embed inside GoMo just about anything. I'm going to embed, in this case, a YouTube video. So just put the YouTube address in. I'll make the width 100% of the screen. I'll make the height 500. That will do for that section there. And now we've saved that one, we'll go and have a look at the final quiz. So Final quiz will be, we'll maybe do 3 questions in here. So in fact, let's add a new screen. So we're going to do a quick multiple choice. Pretty standard question, but then I'll do something a little bit more interesting after that. Where's my multiple choice gone? There we go. So add screen from template. Okay, I'll do a graphical multiple choice. So this is a graphical multiple choice question. Click on the placeholder. So image 1. There's a blast from the past. We'll have the Epic logo. And image 2 will have the GoMo logo. Apply those. And which is the oldest company? In fact, Epic is now Leo these days, but hey. Okay, so there's first screen of the quiz. Second screen. We will put in a multiple choice. Sorry, I've got the wrong one there. Just let me save that and refresh the browser. Okay. So we'll delete that screen because that was a mistake. We'll add a screen from a template. And I'm going to bring in a multiple choice question for the second one. Where is our head office? And we'll set the 3 questions up. So we'll have London, New York, sorry, Brighton, and we'll make Brighton the correct answer. And New York. So we're going to say Brighton is correct and London is incorrect. We'll stick an image on the right hand side of this page just as a distractor for our students, like so. Save that one and then one more question and then we should be done. So let's add another screen from a template, and this time we'll do a graphical multiple choice, hotspot multiple choice, sorry, question, hotspot multiple choice. And I'm going to reuse something I did before, identify the Brighton office. So for the hotspot multiple choice, we'll go and grab that world map again. There it is. Double click on it and we'll set the coordinates for item 1, which can be the correct one, which will be Brighton, and item 2, which we say is over the US. And then we don't need the third item, so we'll just remove that one. So I've now set up 3 different question types, and then finally we'll give our students some feedback. So we'll give them an assessments result page and call the screen results. And we'll say a good pass is 100%, a basic pass is, let's make it 60, so 75, 66, yeah, we'll make it 60, so if they get 2 questions right. And then we'll give them some nice feedback And I'll just go and grab a bit of text from here. So well done, you scored that many. Good feedback we'll have as good job. And then if you fail the quiz, finally, we'll have bad luck, you only scored %. Okay, so that should do for creating the course, taking me a little bit longer than usual, but I'm adding in a few questions here so we can see this coming through in the analytics section in a moment. What we can do now is go and have a look at that course. So if we go back to the GoMo Learning portal, and we'll preview that course, but we'll also share it. So if you've got a mobile phone or a tablet with a QR code reader, grab it now because you'll be able to run this course as well. So if I now preview this project, so I'm just going to get this course ready to put into our hosting platform. There it is, Thursday 15/16. Just make sure everything's working. So we've got our video topic, which has got embedded video all about GoMo.
In this session, we're going to be looking at GoMo theme.
And then on the second page in that topic, we highlighted our offices as being in Brighton and New York. It's all very good. It's looking good on a desktop computer. Let's test it on a tablet now. Let's go back to the menu, and I can either click on the buttons or maybe we'll go and have a look at the embed topic. And this is where we embedded the YouTube video. That was the video I was playing at the top of the demonstration. So there's our embedded video coming in from YouTube. This is all looking very good. Topic 3 we didn't bother with, and topic 4 was our quiz. It looks like I've messed something up there, but let's see what happens. So which is the oldest company, Epic or GoMo? I'll pick Epic and confirm, and we got that one correct. Where is our head office? London, Brighton or New York? Brighton. Identify the Brighton office and confirm. Correct. Well done, you scored 100%. So that's the course running on desktop, tablet and smartphone as well. If we want to test it on smartphone, we can do. We're going to have a look at the video. You'll see now that the items are stacked vertically. But everything's still usable on our desktop, tablet and smartphone. So if we're happy with this now, and it all seems to be working, we can think about publishing it. At this point as well, we might want to share the content for review. So if you do have your smartphones handy with the QR code reader, I'll leave that on the screen for a few seconds. If you point your device, your QR code reader at that QR code, the course that I've just built should jump onto your smartphone or tablet and you can review it. And let me have any feedback in the questions panel if you've got any. I rushed through that a bit, so there may be a few little errors in there. We also have online review capability. So if I was reviewing this course and I get into video and I prefer the text above the video, for example, I could add a reviewer note, move the text up. It's on the video topic, it's on screen 1, and we'll assign that task to Hugh. When Hugh logs in, he'll see that task and he'll immediately be able to go find that page and fix that particular issue. So that's course creation. I haven't touched on themes because we've got to get onto the hosting and analytics. So what I'll do now is publish my project. And I've got two choices when I can publish. I can download the projects and distribute it myself as a standard SCORM learning object. and disconnect it from GoMo, or I can publish it to the GoMo hosting platform. Publishing it to GoMo hosting will make it available in the hosting side of the GoMo product, where we can then start to distribute it out to our students. So now let's go and have a look at the hosting platform. Coming back to GoMo here, I just click on hosting and it will take me over to the hosting portal. Looks very similar to the authoring package, but these are now my published courses. So these are all the courses I've currently got available. The course we just created will be over with us in a second. Takes a minute or two to jump from one server to another. But here are the hosted options, hosted courses that I've got. And if we take a look at some of these and go and have a look at some of the statistics, here's the mLearn Con course that I showed you an example from before. I've had to reset the analytics on this one, so we've had 41 project launches. This one is a direct access course. So if I look at the settings, it's direct access. I can grab a web link, and this is what I've been broadcasting on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So I can just copy that, drop it into an email, paste it into Twitter or Facebook, and give people direct access to that course. We can also generate an embed code, and that's for embedding courses in your website. We're just about to launch the SCORM wrapper. There'll be one more button there for the embed in an LMS, and that will generate the SCORM wrapper that you can drop into your SCORM LMS. But you can, of course, distribute the course from Gomu Central, which is our hosting platform. Excuse me. So if we go and have a look at one of the embedded course, Get Going with GoMo, this is probably the most popular one we've had. This one is embedded in the GoMo website, 317 launches to date. And if I just go and have a look on the GoMo website, so you can see that one in action, this is how a course appears when it's embedded within a website. So it's Get Going with GoMo, and we've embedded the course into this page of the website. So that's been served up straight from the GoMo server. And if we update that course in any way in GoMo, the website doesn't need touching. The course will just update automatically. You can see on this one we've got the full screen HTML5 video backgrounds as well. That's a brand new feature in GoMo. So you can deploy courses with full screen videos as your full screen backgrounds within your course if you choose to. So you're not just stuck with images. Let's go back to our hosting portal and projects. Just refresh that, see if my course has come through. There it is. Oops, that's Thursday, 10/24. Do apologise, just waiting for that course to come across. Of course, it's taking longer than usual because I'm on a demo in front of about 100 people at the moment. Let's just see if it's going to come across. If not, we'll play around with another one. Just change the settings on this one to Gomu Central and update. We'll give our original course one more chance. If not, we'll have to work on another one. Okay, it's messing me about, of course, today, so I may just have to play around with another one. But basically, any course that's published across here, we can start using within GoMo Central, which is our hosted portal. If we go and have a look at the GoMo Central page, you set up the project name, call this one GoMo Demo, choose whether it's live or not. You can choose your logo and your icon. You can choose whether students need to log in or whether you're going to allow self-registration. So you've got all these choices when you set up your own GoMo portal. For users, you can allow them to self-register and they'll just register in there, or you can create a new user or import users from a an Excel spreadsheet, and we'll give you the definition file for that so that you're able to do that and set up Gomu Central. And if I launch Gomu Central, this is how it looks in this instance. So this is my student portal. I'll log in as Gary there. Time to change my password, which I haven't done for a while, but I'll ignore that for the moment. And there's some of the courses that are available to Gary. So if I pick one with a quiz on, for example, so we'll go and have a play with the Learning Solutions course. Then we'll see this data coming through. So Gary's going to have a look at About GoMo. He'll have a look at the new project wizard summary. Just let him experience a couple more pages. And then maybe he'll go back to the home page and then have a go at the GoMo quiz. So Mike and Hugh enjoy warm British ale in a variety of British pubs. Which is Mike's favourite? It's the old trip to Jerusalem in Nottingham, so I'm bound to get that one right. This is my local pub. GoMo software as a service. How do you access it? Via a web browser. Correct. One of our team's a culture vulture. Can you identify him? Maybe it's JC. No, that's not right. And finally, how does your course look on a tablet in landscape mode? Then it's been spun around. Well done, got it correct. How did I do? Good job. I scored 75%. So I'm logged in here as Gary, and he's scored 75% in that particular course. Let's go back to the hosting portal. Look at the projects now. And if we go to the Learning Solutions project, look at the dashboard, we can see the last access was Gary at the alcocks.com. We can see it's mostly desktop and smartphone for this particular one. But if we go down to the analytics, I've got a series of pre-built reports here. Project launches, completions, passes, failures, device types, and so on. And what GoMo is actually doing here is making a round trip to Learning Locker, which is the learning record store that we work against with GoMo. So as students are going through the courses, GoMo is writing the TinCan X API data to Learning Locker. And as we run the analytics here, it's doing a round trip to Learning Locker again to get the raw data out and present it back in the GoMo dashboards. You can, of course, if you have your own Learning Locker account, go in there and have a look at the data in Learning Locker. You don't have to use Learning Locker as well. We can point GoMo hosting at different different LRSs. We can also point individual GoMo courses at different LRSs, and that's something you can configure yourselves. So if you want to build a standalone course that's going in an LMS that points at a different LRS, you can do that. But there's the learning data coming in. So Gary experienced the main menu. He looked at how to create a new project, the new project wizard step summary. He then went back to the main menu. He got question 1 right, question 2 right, question 3 was wrong, question 4 he got correct, and he scored 75% in the quiz. And you can see that was 2 or 3 minutes ago. So you can see here we're automatically collecting this rich data set. We know how well Gary's done. We know when he did it. But we also know which question he got incorrect, and that can drive our analytics like this can drive the improvements to our learning experiences and our learner outcomes. And we can also see here that when he was in this particular part, he stopped at content creation, so maybe he got bored after the first 4 screens of topic 1, and again we might want to look at making the rest of topic 1 a little bit more enticing. I can sort through all of the various headings within here, like so, and I can also search by date range, so show me everybody that's passed the course in the last 6 months or the last year. If I go back to the record store, we can also drill down by student. So again, if we go and have a look at Gary here and see what he's been up to, again, it's going off to Learning Locker to get the data. He's accessed 7 projects, 72 total launches. He spent 3 hours learning. Because I'm the administrator, I could reset his password or archive him if he's left the business, for example. But if I look at him on a project by project basis, we were just looking at the Learning Solutions 2015. He's launched it 22 times, only got through 20% of it so far. And again, we can start to see everything that Gary's done inside that particular course. And again, we can start to see he's always getting questions 2 and 3 incorrect. And again, there may be some remedial action with the course or maybe with Gary, who knows. So there we have it. That's an overview of GoMo building a course. Sorry, the publish didn't quite work there. I'll have to check what went on with that, but hopefully it's given you an understanding of single solution from authoring to publishing through to in-depth analytics. And as we said at the top, you can set up your own GoMo portal, you can embed courses in websites, you can send links out to Facebook, Twitter, however you want to do, and you can embed GoMo courses in your LMS. So we've got 10 minutes to go. I will answer questions in a moment. The last thing to do before I do, because most people ask this one, so we'll get it out of the way, is how much does all of this cost? I'm looking at the GoMo website here, and there's some of our lovely customers on there, but the pricing's publicly available. I'll show you the pricing for the GoMo Learning Suite, and you're seeing it on the screen now. So we have 3 plans: small, medium, and enterprise. The small is for, on the authoring side, a single author, unlimited project, and a gigabyte of storage. And on the hosting side, that's a gigabyte of hosting storage, 50 gig of bandwidth a month, which should suffice about 250 students with 20 courses. And you get all of the distribution options within there. If you're a slightly bigger organization, we've got quite a few customers now on the medium package, which is $296 a month or $2,960 per annum. On the authoring side, that's 4 authors. You obviously get the collaboration and review features in there. And then on the hosting side, it's 4 gigabytes of hosting storage, 200 gig of bandwidth a month, which should be good for about 750 students and 50 courses. These numbers aren't fixed. They can flex a little bit around that. We're trying to give an indicative number of how many users you should be able to fit into those sorts of limits. If you're a bigger organization than that, if you've got more students, want more authors, then please talk to me or any of the GoMo team about enterprise subscriptions. They generally start at 50 gig of hosting and 2.5 terabytes of bandwidth a month. We have unlimited students and courses plans within there. And again, on the authoring side, that's a conversation we'd have with you about how many authors you wanted. 50 gig storage is the default. This also adds in telephone support, maybe a custom theme, and some product roadmap input. So some of our enterprise customers are helping us to drive the direction of the GoMo product. I know we've got some people on today from the US, so I will just switch the pricing over to the US so you can see the small plan is $178 a month and the medium is $498 per month. Again, talk to me about enterprise. And I think we've got quite a few from mainland Europe today. So that's 118 euros and 358 euros per month for those plans there. We've mainly been focusing on the hosting analytics, but if you don't need that part of it, if you just want to use the authoring side of the product, divide all the numbers I've just been showing you by 2 if you just want the authoring tool. So personal plan is a single user log on, small team is 4 users, enterprise talk to us. And again, in dollars, it's $89 a month to start with for a single user, $249 a month for a small team. And then in sterling, for most of our audience today, £49 a month for the personal plan, $148 a month for the small team. Enterprise talk to us. Okay, so that finishes really the formal bit of the presentation. I can see a few questions coming through, so I will try and answer those now. And feel free to type any more questions in if you can think of anything else you'd like to know before the end of the presentation. Question from Matthew, thank you. Will the SCORM wrapper allow the offline-online syncing with SCORM LMSs? It won't at the moment, Matthew, but however, what we are working on, a bit of roadmap here that's coming up, where we'll very shortly have a Gomu Central app which will handle offline syncing with SCORM LMSs. Excuse me. And the way that will work is we'll have an app, like a Cradle app, a bit like a Kindle, where you can download all of your books into your Kindle app on your iPhone or Android device. And you'll be able to choose whether you're going to consume those live, where you'll have dynamic XAPI data coming in, or whether you're going to consume them offline. If you consume them offline, the app will record everything you've done within the course, and then when it phones home the next time you get some connectivity, you'll basically get the data sent back. So hopefully that answers your question. The app development is underway, and we're certainly hoping to see it in the next month or two. Another question, video formats. Yeah, so we have to be a little bit limited on video formats that we can accept in GoMo because it's a multi-device tool. Excuse me, just have a drink. So MP4, excuse me, MP4 videos are generally what we take in GoMo, primarily because we have a multi-device tool and we have to make sure that the content works on every device, and we can't afford to import video formats that don't work across things like iPads and so on. So we are a little bit limited. It won't convert the videos for you. You'll need to convert them outside of GoMo. But basically, once you've got a video into GoMo, you know it's going to work across all of your devices. And the way that most people get video into GoMo is by using Vimeo or YouTube and the iframe asset, because you can embed your videos directly and you don't have to disconnect them from YouTube, download them and upload them into GoMo. One last question, standards. Yeah, so the sort of standards that we support within GoMo are SCORM for tracking via an LMS, and it's SCORM 1.2. We support XAPI version 1 for the hosting the XAPI analytics. And then the default output from GoMo is HTML5. And another question coming in there. Can you add copyright attribution to images and videos, etc.? Not sure, Scott. Might have to come back to you on that one. Apologies, I can't answer that one just directly, but I'll have your details. I'll try and drop you an email on that one if that's okay, Scott. Accessibility standards, we are W3C. We haven't been formally accredited. I think we're certainly at W3C single A. We're probably W3C double A, pretty close if not there already. But certainly things like, I've used it with JAWS as a screen reader. We support keyboard navigation. It's all HTML5, so it's pretty screen reader friendly. It hasn't been through a formal accessibility rating yet, but I think that's whereabouts we are with GoMo. Okay, last chance everybody. It's 5 to the top of the hour. Been a huge crowd this afternoon, so I'm really grateful to everybody for taking the time to have a look at GoMo. Hope you found it a useful and informative session. You've all probably had an email from me inviting you to this, so if you have any questions post-events, you want anything else from me, my name's Mike Alcock from GoMo Learning, and I don't see any more questions coming in, so it just rests for me to say thanks everybody for attending. Appreciate all the questions and nice feedback. Thank you, Scott, and all the others who are saying goodbye now. So look forward to hearing from you soon. And yeah, if you're interested in GoMo, please reach out, as it were, and contact me. Thank you. Bye.